I was completely wrong-footed by the Swiss National Bank's decisions. They said very firmly just a month ago that they were committed to defending the current levels and that the negative interest rate strategy was part of a longer-term and deeply considered move. Therefore, what they have done today makes no sense, and I'm absolutely confident they will have to take steps now to stop the headlong appreciation of the Swissie against the euro. If one were to think about why the SNB did what they did, it seems to me that the depreciation of the Swissie against the dollar would have been part of their thinking. Because after all, when you export to the US, the fact that their currency has become cheaper without having to worry clearly is good news. The problem for the euro, however, is that it is about half of Swiss exports and trade. So a much bigger consideration than the dollar, which is roughly 10%. The data from Germany are very confusing. I think that at a company level there are some great performances. I look at SAP, big dollar earner, doing extremely well. I also think that Siemens is doing well. The other piece of good news we had today were, of course, the Euroland trade numbers that demonstrated that Europe is beginning to export again. And that's got to be seen as extremely good and encouraging. The collapse of the oil price from the highs seen last year is bad news for all of the oil majors. BP inevitably will have to cut costs. I have to say that I think the cutting of costs and employment numbers in the UK will just be the start of a relatively prolonged programme of retrenchment. The fall in commodities generally, not just copper, not just oil, but also soft commodities such as wheat, is clearly demonstrating a relative absence of demand against supply. I think ultimately this is very good news for the global economy, but in the short term, clearly it's problematic. I worry about China. China has bubbles in a range of areas. The blowing off of the froth is going to mean slower economic growth and therefore significantly less demand for commodities.